What's up, y'all? Yeah, let's start this stream. We're going to be talking about the future of Star Wars gaming, and we're going to kind of kind of decide where we think it's going to go and what we want to see, all that type of jazz. Hold on a second, I'm going to close my door. Hey, what's up, Flickster? How you doing? So, hey, what's up, Flickster? Not too many people get to be first twice, so congratulations there, Flickster. Proud of you. Very proud of you. So let's see here. I'm going to. A second, I gotta figure out how to do this right. I'm trying something different, just a little bit different right now. So, nice. Let's see if I can do this correctly. Alright, so we are going to start off with the first thing, which is the discussion that I start off with was, could Squadrons being successful actually hurt our chances for Battlefront 3? And we got a couple different responses on this. Okay, I gotta... Luke says, well, it might certainly almost like distract the community from wanting a Battlefront 3, but if it's not successful, there will be even more trouble. And kind of the opposite, which is, no, if Squadrons is successful, they will be more likely to make a Battlefront 3. And I'm kind of not entirely sure what my view is on this, because there's part of me that thinks that... So, first of all, DICE and Motive are two parts of EA. Motive is the ones that created the Starfighter Assault and pretty much all the flying aspects of Battlefront 2, whereas DICE did the ground-based combat and all that. So they're two different parts of EA, and the fact that they did Squadrons and the fact that the DICE, the people that are working on Battlefront 2, went over to what is it, Battlefield 6, something like that, kind of tells me that they just, I guess you could say, I don't think that they, I don't think they have any plans to put their DICE team back into Battlefront. And I think that they need a good reason to, and I think that if Squadrons is successful, and that means that they can keep Motive working on that, but at the same time they could drop out their Battlefront, DICE having to deal with Battlefront 3, I think they might do it. And I think the better question right now is, will hey, what's up, Bailout? Will Battlefield 6er, I think it's Battlefield 6, I don't pay attention, I don't care about that franchise. Will that doing well actually spell the doom of Battlefront 3? Because if that does well, and if they're able to do microtransactions on cosmetics in that game, and they make a bunch of money off that, why go to a Battlefront 3 where they're going to be scared to monetize it at all? Yes, I am going to be streaming Battlefront a little bit later. But I'm kind of interested to see what happens with Squadrons. If it's a decent success and they realize that, hey, the Star Wars fans want more content, then maybe that helps Battlefront 3. If it's too much of a success and people are continuously playing it over and over again, and if they figure out a way of making money on it, above and beyond the launch on that, that could make them say, screw it, we're not even going to worry about Battlefront 3. And I think Battlefield 6 is going to be what's going to kind of determine whether or not we get a Battlefront 3. Squadrons equals yucky. I don't know. It looks good. It looks really good. So it's just not my type of game, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to try it out. Alright, let's go to the next thing here. And it's from Luke. Hey James, so here's what I think about all this. There are more Star Wars games coming out, including LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga, a second Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and around 2022, the new LEGO Star Wars Battles mobile game, and probably more in the future. Personally, I would like to see some effort to continue the Star Wars spirit throughout the decades, but not overkill. But it may eventually slow down considering the original saga has ended, so here are the things you might want to consider talking about Monday. If Star Wars games continue, what type of games would you like to see? Single player, multiplayer, ground battles, air battles? So let's discuss that first. I would say that what I would want to see more than anything is, I'm not going to be, I won't be looking at chat quite yet. Hey, what's up, SWB? They need to have all of it because there's people like me that are only going to play multiplayer. I might check out the single player, but literally if for some reason in Squadrons, if you have to defeat the single player to get to multiplayer, my nephew's going to be over here finishing the single player. I just have no desire. I just don't care about single player modes. I just want to play against other people or AI or whatever. I just want to be in battle type situations. I prefer the ground battles, but there's other people that are going to love the air battles, and I think Squadrons is going to show that. I think it's going to show that if Starfighter Assault would have been something that they actually put effort into, it would have been a mode that still gets a lot of people playing right now. And it wasn't that people don't want an air battle Star Wars game, it's just the fact that they did a pretty crappy job of supporting that part of it. Next part, how long do you think Star Wars gaming should last? Do you think people like the progression of Star Wars games in the future? That, who knows? It could be, if we have a time machine and people are still playing video games thousands of years from now, it could still be around. 10 years from now, maybe Star Wars is dead. Who knows? It really depends on the movie and TV part of it, of whether or not the generations that are coming up are going to be interested in Star Wars. That's what's going to determine whether or not they're going to put money and effort into making these games. And that's really going to depend on who's going to be in charge of Star Wars after 2021. I think Kathleen Kennedy's got one more year left on her contract. They got to put Favreau, Filoni, somebody like that, a Star Wars fan, not just a great executive, which apparently Kathleen Kennedy, I've heard people talk about her and say that she's an absolutely phenomenal producer and executive, but I just never got that she was a huge Star Wars fan, and that's the reason why Star Wars is struggling. So as far as how long Star Wars gaming lasts, that's going to just completely depend on how popular Star Wars is in the future. Do you believe there's a limit to how much Star Wars games companies should produce? Will there ever be a day when there's too much? First of all, I don't think that you have more than one ground-based battle, like huge game like Battlefront 2, air battle like Squadrons, and then more than a couple story mode type games. You could have Jedi Fallen Order franchise and then maybe some other character that we're following. More than that at any particular time is probably not going to be healthy. However, continuously having sequels to each of those types of games, I think is going to be fine. Finally, do you think smaller companies should make smaller, less popular Star Wars games in the future, or should only bigger and more popular games be added, aka from bigger and more popular companies? Disney's not going to allow a whole lot of smaller companies to touch their property, and it is what it is. They're going to want companies that they know have the budget to put into it. You got to realize Disney is not financially supporting these games. Disney is licensing them out to somebody else, and then that company, like EA, is splitting some of that profit with them. They want a company that they know is going to be able to go out there and make a great game, make it large scale, and be able to make money so that there's more money in Disney's pockets. So, yeah, I'm going to look in chat here in just a second. We'll do a quick pause on what I was doing. Look into chat. And no, I don't think small companies are going to do it. I don't think they're going to be allowed or even get an option. They're not going to even be able to get in the room to be able to negotiate any kind of terms with Disney. Let's see, what do we got here? Let's see. Don't understand squadrons. It is just a yeah, it's a starfighter assault type of game, but it's got a pretty cool interface with it. The HUD is actually your cockpit. It looks like you're going to be in an actual starfighter cockpit. There's going to be a lot of strategy to it. It's not going to be just dogfighting. There's going to be a lot of strategy to it. There's going to be actually the communication between players. I think is going to be huge and very important. Do a full like No Man's Sky but Star Wars version. You could basically go anywhere without. I am a I'm a fan of the game starts, you have competitors, the game ends. I'm not a open world type fan. However, yes, I think they should have a game like that because I think the people that are into that type of game should have that option. But I am much more of a hey, let's start the game, let's all compete, let's finish the game, let's have a winner. That's the type of game that I like. Let's see. The complete saga is going to be a free roam. As far as what complete saga, are you talking about the Lego complete saga or? Let me know in the comments there. Yeah, you're still gonna buy it as far as squadrons, because I am definitely gonna get it. I'm gonna commit a couple weeks to it. After that, we will see if I continue to play it. It's going to depend on how much I enjoy the game or if I just go right back to Battlefront 2. Okay, so yeah, caught up to chat a little bit. Let's go on to the next comment on here. Getting quicker on this part of it. I will get better at this part of it. Jake says, I think Star Wars Squadrons is going to be fun. I think they could make a huge open world RPG game as a bounty hunter and you went around the galaxy doing missions, making a crew and making a name for yourself. So yeah, just like an open world where you're a bounty hunter. I don't know that it would be just a bounty hunter game. If he did that, that's going to have to be a open world game where you could be a bounty hunter and that could be just an occupation or something you do within that galaxy. But as far as it just being a bounty hunter, I don't see them making a whole game based off of that. They could, of course, have something like a Battlefront 3, have a bounty hunter mode where you are a bounty hunter and you and a crew have to get the bounty or whatever and avoid the authorities, avoid other bounty hunters, or however you do it, and take the youngling to the Sith Lord or whatever you're gonna do. On to the next one. How did I miss your streams? Bailout, it just happens. And you're making a game. Let us know how that game's going, by the way. Next one. I think we should talk about the indie Star Wars games more and not so much EA and big company games because indie games are more likely the main future of Star Wars games. I have to disagree with that. I think the indie games are going to come and go a little bit here and there, but they're not going to get the larger scale ones. But at the same time, if there's some indie Star Wars games that are smaller scale, there's going to be people that love those. And they're going to have an audience for that. And so if they do have those, maybe we can talk about those in the future. However, I am more of a multiplayer player. That's redundant. And so the bigger games, I would like somebody else to get the contract other than EA to see what they can do with it. But I think the bigger scale games are what people are going to be talking about more in the future. Alex says, oh yeah, and that was Garrett that just said that. Alex says, I like that it's cross-play and it's flying. Yes, the cross-play part of it is huge. It's a huge selling point, the fact that we can play together. Some of the viewers, SWB, Alex, others out there, they're Xbox people. The unfortunate Xbox people, I should say, wink wink. But that's going to make it huge. That's going to keep the game going longer. And I also think that that's EA kind of showing their hand. I know that there was another game during EA Play that they discussed that's already out that's going to be switched to cross-platform. If they were still working on Battlefront 2, I think eventually we would see that. And I think Battlefront 3 will be cross-platform. With that being said, I think that you should have the option in the lobby to be able to say, I don't want, if I'm PlayStation 4, I'm okay with playing with Xbox or against Xbox players. I don't want PC players in my lobby, and I think that that would be fair to be able to do that. Eat My Bullet says, I'm not really happy about this game coming. It's like EA rushed it just so there could be a Star Wars game coming this year. I'd rather want EA not to rush things and take their time, but in the meantime, I would like to see some older Star Wars games ported over to the PS4. I feel that now Battlefront 2 is done, now would be the perfect time to go back and port some old classics over. And that really comes down to whether or not they're going to put the effort and the time into it. And I'm not saying that they won't do that, but it seems like EA's got other things on their mind, and they've got a lot of people over working on Battlefield 6. But the thing is, DICE would not be the ones that would be porting. They would have probably another studio that does that. I'm not entirely sure how all that works. I like the fact that they're porting these games over. I think that it's cool that people can go back and play these games, that younger kids can go back and play some of the older games. Personally, I'm not interested in them. However, the fact that there's other people that are, I think that they should definitely do it so that, I mean, let's just give people as much Star Wars as we can, and they can decide what they want to play and what they don't want to play. Cradle video, that looks spammy, but that's okay. And then, hey, Logan, hi! And I said hello there, which is the exact response you should get on that. Alright, so let's go back to the chat. See what everybody's saying. Let's see where I left off here. The Lego Skywalker Saga will be epic. I think is that coming out later this year? Let's see real quick. Let's see the Skywalker Saga release date, October 20th. So we're gonna have like 3 weeks of Squadrons, and then after that we're going to have the Lego Star Wars. So we're gonna have to check that out and kind of see what it's like. That is probably one that I will probably have my nephew over here, have him play it. I might actually play it a little bit. Who knows? I don't know. I get bored of those types of games pretty quickly. Bailout, you should have an option of a hero or trooper or something like that. Where is that? As far as like in an open galaxy type game, yeah, you should definitely be able to choose whatever type of character you want. However, I think that the learning curve, if you're going to choose, I mean, you got to be careful because everybody wants to be a Jedi or Sith or a bounty hunter or stuff like that. Like you gotta give people a reason to want to be just a regular trooper in those games. Star Wars horror game. How about a game where you're younglings or your Padawan that are trying to get away from Vader, and then that's the game, or get away from Inquisitors. Hey, what's up, Alex? I think that could be a cool game. I think that if it's a Star Wars horror game, it either has to be, I don't want it to be creatures. I would want it to be like Inquisitors or Sith or some kind of dark side entity that's just hunting. Hey, what's up, Jake? Darth Bailout. I wouldn't mind if the Skywalker Saga is going to be like The Force Awakens, just a little more free roam, or I mean, lots of free roam. I like the idea of the free roam on there, because I think that gives the option or the ability for a game to last longer. And then Flickster got the Force Awakens on PS3. What was that game like? I never played that. So, and no, Alex, before I start, I haven't gotten around to perusing YouTube yet today. I will do that before I start streaming Battlefront 2, which I'm going to be doing here in the next hour or so after I kill this huge spider that's on my ceiling. Uh, you thought Force Awakens was good on the PS3? Yeah, I'm gonna definitely have to kill that spider, otherwise that's gonna bother me. But anyways, I think unless if anybody's got anything more to say about the gaming future of Star Wars, I think I'm gonna end this. I will end this video too. Those that were on with me last night know that I had a major trolling situation on my channel, and it was pretty bad. I did some research on it. There is a podcast or individual that calls themselves Oddcast Podcast. He is a racist who goes on, and which is funny because for whatever reason he hit my stream. I found his Twitter handle where he goes on other people's streams and then they just troll them and they take clips of it to see the reactions. They usually choose African American streamers to do this to, and then they post short clips. That spider's getting closer and closer. Uh, and we are going in. So I did a little research. I put in something to Twitch and to Twitter, and I'm energized. I want to stop these types of people. I want to do more research and find this person, and I want to get him shut up on social media. There is no room in this world right now for racist bigots and all that, like people that are homophobic. None of those things. Oh, I already banned him. But the thing is, here's the thing. Okay, so I made a change on the Twitch specifically. They kept on. He has a squad of people, so they all continuously made new accounts and then would troll me with it. And as I would go in and ban one account, another one would show up. So now, at least on Twitch, to get into chat on Twitch, they have to be a follower, and they have to be a follower for 30 minutes. So that's the way I'm handling that right now. I don't really want to do that, but for right now, and I might switch it to 10 minutes eventually, just to see. I'm gonna figure out. There's got to be a way to stop people like this. I actually reached out. I figured out who one of the other streamers was who got trolled by him. Alex, I might cover that in something eventually. I'm not gonna, but the whole thing is, I reached out to a streamer and let him know that he was on this guy's Twitter, and it showed a clip of him like 3 different times where some pretty inappropriate stuff was put on there, and it made this streamer look like an idiot. So, but as far as here's the. I'm not going to get into it right now. I have very strong opinions on this. I have had friends of every walk of life. I've had Muslim friends. I've had gay friends. I've had black friends. I've had rich friends. I've had poor friends. I love them all. And any time that somebody says something in a hateful manner towards somebody else, I got to stand up for them. I got to stand up against those types of people. And I have to stop being silent about that stuff. Yeah. Yes, I've had basically every type of friend, even British friends. So, anyways, I'm gonna finish this because I know where that spider is right now, and I want to kill that little. I hate him. I'm gonna let the hate flow, and that hate is going to destroy that spider. So, all right, I'll see you guys after a little bit, and I'm going to do some Battlefront 2 for a while, and then I gotta go do my lawn.